Hello, everyone, and greetings from UCLA Library. My name is Renee Romero,
And I'm Hannah Sutherland.
and today we're going to be talking with you about using Canva for instruction. Thank you for having us today. So today we're going to briefly cover what Canva is and how you can use it, do a short demo, then discuss some of what is great and not so great about it, plus the differences between a paid and a free account. So, what is Canva? Canva is a multimedia design graphic platform. It features a drag and drop interface that allows you to create presentations, posters, digital slides, social media posts, brochures, and more. There are a few ways that you can use Canva for instruction. Besides the more apparent way of using it to create presentations similar to PowerPoint, you can also create instructional resources and learning objects. One example of this is a tutorial created by our colleague Chris Lopez on breaking down academic articles. As you can see, Chris used Canva as a base to create the visual elements for a comic book style tutorial. He then used a free software called H5P to integrate interactive elements into his tutorial. And we can share a link to the final version of that with y'all after this so you can check it out if you're interested. So another way that you can use Canva for instruction is to create outreach materials to promote sessions and workshops in addition to events on your campus. So here are some examples of outreach materials that we create in Canva, ranging from a webinar series to workshops to a sponsored author talk. If you were leaning towards something more like a traditional presentation for a class, you can also integrate several features into Canva, such as YouTube videos, charts, and more. Hannah's going to briefly touch on that during the demo section, which is up next. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to Hannah so that she can show us what it looks like in Canva.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. Okay. All right, can you see it, Renee?
Yes, it looks great.
Okay, awesome. All right. Hi, I'm going to walk you through a super fast demo of Canva, and it's by no means meant to be comprehensive. I'm just hoping to give you some insight into whether this tool would be useful for you at your institution. Quick disclaimer, I'm working in the paid pro account, but I will mention after the demo which aspects of Canva are available in the free versus paid version. And these are some of the things that we're going to go over today. Okay, first, this is what you see when you log in. I usually go ahead and navigate down here to all your designs. I have all my folders here for organization. You can also create folders within folders to keep track of your projects. We've also created our custom brand kit here. You can see we have all of our logos, colors, fonts, assets. I'm going to go ahead now to this create a design button, which is where we'll actually start to create something. But for the purposes of this presentation, I'm actually going to navigate back to our presentation, which is a design within Canva. The best thing about Canva is probably the thousands of free templates. I usually start with a template as a jumping off point for my design, and then I change most parts of it. So as you can see, this is a template from Canva. I found it here. There are other variations of it. I'm going to go ahead and change the font to be our institutional font. I'm going to change the color to be our primary brand color. As you can see, it saves the colors here. It's easy to find. This photo right here is in an element called a frame, and frames are incredibly useful for when you're laying out your design. If I go to here to elements, I can see frames. If I go back, I can see grids with frames, and you can see how if you added this to your design, it would help you in laying out your design. I'm going to go back here, and I want to fill this frame with a picture other than this cat. So I can either go search the library that in Canva with lots of free photos, or I can go to the uploads folder where I've uploaded my own designs. And I can select which picture I would like, and then I just drag it into the frame and it'll snap right in. I can make it bigger if I'd like, and it maintains the size of the frame, which is really nice. I'm gonna go back quickly to elements and point out that there are many other customizable shapes, stickers, and other graphic elements. When you click on any of these, you'll see that either in the bottom right, it'll say free or pro. Pro is the paid account. If you click on it and you have the the free version, there will be a watermark on it, but you can still use it in your design and it'll prompt you to pay for it at the end. You can also filter by free or pro, and also by color, if you want a sticker or something animated. Okay, so let's say that I'm liking this design, I'm liking where it's going, but I want to change up a few things and then compare. I can go ahead and duplicate my design. I could change the background to be a different color. I could change other elements if I want. Maybe I don't want these moving elements. And then I could leave a note for my colleague. And I could say, oops, it's kind of hard to see, but it's right here. I could say, which version do you like better? And I could leave that comment, and then when my colleague comes in here to look at my design, they could reply, and then I can resolve the comment. And this is really useful for collaborative designing. Another really useful thing, say that I really like this design and I want it to be my campaigns, I want it to be used in a campaign where it's used across Instagram, Facebook, flyer. I can go here to resize. I can say maybe I want this to be an Instagram post, copy and resize it. And it's going to do for the entire presentation, its approximation of an Instagram post. And you can see it's changed to a 1:1 ratio, and then I can update the elements to make it work better and however I would prefer. Let's go back here. So you can see from this original design with the cat, this is what I eventually ended up creating for one of our teams. So you can see how the templates are a really great jumping off point for creating your own unique designs. So very quickly, I'm going to show you how to download. If you go here to this little arrow, you'll see some options. They're kind of standard options, but also if you go to this side, you also have some other options. I can download this as a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. I can download it as an embed code. I can download it as a website. If I go and click more, there's other options, videos, templates. In the Pro version, you can create your own templates, which is really nice. So it's really flexible in that way. Canva also is great in that it integrates with a lot of other tools. If I go here to more, I can see the apps and integrations that I can include in my presentation. I've created some in here. There's YouTube, there's a Google form that can actually be filled out on the spot. Google Maps, Spotify, I created a graph. So this can be really useful for instruction. Very quickly, I'm just going to talk about what's great about Canva and what's not so great. Some of the things that you saw, the templates, the fact that it's an easy drag and drop interface. You don't need graphic design experience. There's a large image library. In the paid version, there's a brand kit, and it integrates with lots of different tools. What's not so great is it's definitely not accessible. Anything that I've ever created in Canva, I've had to bring into Acrobat and make accessible there, which is kind of annoying. It's also a company based in Australia, so sometimes it's hard to submit payments, especially if you're using institutional P cards. The support is really terrible. If you email someone, a robot will reply. It's very frustrating. You cannot simultaneously edit the same design. So I could not be editing this at the same time that Renee is editing it, but we can edit it at different times. And it's kind of a quirky platform sometimes. Some of the differences between the free and pro version. For the free version, you only get 2 folders to organize your projects. You still have a large image and template library though, and you still get the integrations. Pro is $119 a year, and it's basically just this plus more, including that brand kit, which is really helpful, the ability to resize any design, and then just lots more options. There's also Canva Premium, but there's no need really for any of us to have that ever. And that's all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you.